Ever felt the sting of betrayal by someone you thought was a friend? It's a harsh reality, but not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart. Sometimes people wear a mask of friendship only to use you for their own gain. Our video today dives deep into this tough topic. We're going to shed light on 7 telltale signs that someone is taking advantage of you instead of valuing your friendship. This is about opening your eyes to the harsh truth of fake relationships. Stick with us as we guide you through recognizing and stepping away from these harmful connections. Your well-being matters, and it's crucial to surround yourself with genuine people. Hit subscribe to join us on this journey of self-awareness and personal growth, and learn to distinguish true friends from those who are just passing through your life for their own benefit. The first signal: guilt tripping and manipulation. Take a moment and think about the times you've been cornered with words like, "You'd do this if you really cared," or "I've done so much for you. Can't you do this one thing for me?" These aren't just phrases. They're hooks baited with guilt, designed to reel you into doing things against your will. It's manipulation at its finest, wearing a mask of concern and obligation. Now, ask yourself, why should your kindness be used against you? Why should your empathy be a weapon in someone else's arsenal? This isn't just about being pushed into uncomfortable situations. It's about someone deliberately chipping away at your self-worth, questioning your judgment, and making you doubt your own feelings. It's a slow poison that erodes your confidence, leaving you feeling powerless. But here's the thing: recognizing this game of emotional chess is your first step to breaking free. It's about understanding that your feelings matter, that your no has value. It's about seeing that in a garden of healthy relationships, respect, trust, and mutual understanding are the flowers that bloom, not guilt and manipulation. So, what do you do when faced with these situations? Do you continue to bend until you break, or do you stand firm, reclaiming your right to choose, to feel, to be? Remember, confronting these manipulative tactics isn't just an act of rebellion, it's an act of self-love. It's about saying, "I am more than someone's emotional plaything. I deserve better." By facing this truth head-on, you're not just protecting your emotional well-being, you're embarking on a journey towards healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It's a path that may not be easy, but one that leads to a place where your emotions are respected, not exploited. After all, isn't that what we all deserve? The second signal: selective availability. There's a rhythm in every relationship, a give and take that keeps the music playing. But what happens when the dance becomes one-sided? You're always there, a constant presence, ready to lend an ear, a hand, or your time. Yet when the tables turn, when you're the one reaching out, there's nothing but a cold, echoing silence. Think about the times you've stood as a pillar of support, the countless moments you've given without hesitation. Your phone buzzes, and it's them again. They need advice, a favor, or just someone to listen. You respond, you always do. But when you're feeling low, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, where are they? Your messages float in the digital void, unanswered. Your calls join a list of missed connections. If they respond, it's a swift shift in conversation, a deflection from your needs. This imbalance, this selective availability, is a glaring red flag. It's a signal that screams out the harsh truth. You're there for them, but they're not there for you. It's a hard pill to swallow, realizing that your care and concern flow in a direction where nothing comes back. This isn't just a lack of thoughtfulness, it's a deliberate ignorance of your feelings, your needs. The scales are tipped and not in your favor. Your efforts, your empathy, your time, it all seems to be taken for granted. It's a wake-up call, a moment of truth. Are you in a relationship that nurtures both ways, or are you just a convenience, a stopgap for someone else's needs? It's time to look in the mirror and ask the hard questions. Where do you stand? How much of yourself are you willing to give without receiving the same in return? This isn't just about them. It's about you, your self-worth, your boundaries. It's a moment to decide whether you're valued as you should be, whether the scales can be balanced, or if it's time to step away and find a rhythm that respects both the giving and the receiving. The third signal, the persistent lack of respect. In the intricate dance of human connections, there's a subtle yet powerful signal often overlooked, the lingering absence of respect. Picture this, a relationship where your worth is constantly undervalued, where your time and emotions are taken for granted. Isn't it jarring when someone consistently cancels plans at the last moment, arrives late or worse, doesn't bother showing up? This disregard, this habitual sidelining of your needs, isn't just rude. It's a red flag waving in the wind of a one-sided relationship. Why does it sting when someone you value treats you as an afterthought? It's because respect is the backbone of any genuine connection. It's not just about being polite. It's about seeing and treating each other as equals. When someone perpetually puts their needs above yours, it's not just a sign of disrespect. It's a signal that you're in a relationship with a person who sees you as an option, not a priority. But let's be real. We're all human, and we all slip up sometimes. We might be late, forget plans, or be a bit self-centered on a bad day. The crucial difference: in a healthy relationship, these are exceptions, not the rule. There's an effort made, an apology given, a genuine attempt to do better next time. In contrast, a person who consistently acts without regard for you isn't just having a bad day. They're showing you a pattern of disregard. So, what do you do when faced with this persistent lack of respect? It's about more than just identifying the problem. It's about valuing yourself enough to demand better. It's about realizing that relationships should uplift, not drag you down. It's about understanding that you have the power and the right to walk away from those who don't value you. As we navigate through the complexities of human interactions, remember, it's not just about being aware of how others treat us. It's also about recognizing our own worth. Relationships should be a source of strength, not stress. They should be built on mutual respect, not one-sided efforts. So ask yourself, are you being respected, or are you being taken for granted? The answer might just be the key to unlocking healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The fourth signal, superficial bonding. You know that feeling when you're talking to someone and everything seems just surface level? That's the sign of a superficial bond. It's like walking on thin ice, where beneath the light chatter and laughter, there's a hollow space, no depth, no real connection. It's a dance of shadows where the steps are familiar, but the rhythm never changes. Let's paint a picture. You meet someone, the conversation flows, but it's all about the weather, the latest movies, or what's for dinner. Weeks, months pass, and you're still on the same script. You don't know their fears, their dreams, what keeps them up at night. It's like a play where the actors never break character. Why does this happen? It's a mask, a defense. They keep their true selves locked away, out of reach. And you? You're left wondering, scratching the surface but never breaking through. It's frustrating, isn't it? You give your time, your energy, but for what? A shadow of a relationship. This isn't just about feeling lonely in a crowd. It's about recognizing when a relationship is stuck in the shallow end. It makes you question, am I investing in a mirage? Is this all there is? But here's the kicker. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That realization is a wake-up call. It's time to ask yourself the hard questions. Are you content with the surface, or do you crave the dive into the deep? Are you willing to settle for less than what you deserve? Superficial bonds are a signpost, pointing towards a crossroad. One path leads to more of the same, the other towards the unknown, where real connections might be waiting. That choice is a bold one. It requires courage to step away from the familiar, the comfortable, to seek something more authentic. But think about it. Isn't that what we all yearn for? To be understood, to share our inner world with someone who cares deeply. It's not just about finding someone to talk to. It's about finding someone to connect with on a level that goes beyond the mundane. When you start seeking deeper connections, you open yourself to the possibility of something richer, more fulfilling. Yes, it's scary. There's a risk of being vulnerable, of opening up and not being met in the same way. But isn't that risk worth taking if it leads you to a place where you can share your hopes, fears, and dreams? The fifth signal: absence in crucial moments. When you think about the bonds we share with others, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it the laughter shared over a cup of coffee, or the comforting silence on a long drive? Often, we measure our connections through these light, easy moments. But what about when life throws a curveball? When things get tough, do these same people stand by you, or do they vanish like shadows at noon? Let's delve into a scenario. You're grappling with a personal crisis. You reach out, hoping for a shoulder to lean on, but what you find is an empty space where you expected your friend or partner to be. You hear words, sure, but they're hollow, echoing with the lack of genuine concern. It's as if your struggle is an inconvenient interruption in their lives. It's in these unguarded moments, when the chips are down, that the real face of a relationship reveals itself. Isn't it striking how absence can speak louder than any words? That silence, that gap where support should be, is deafening. It tells a story of indifference, a lack of empathy that's more cutting than any harsh word. This realization is a tough pill to swallow. It forces us to confront the harsh truth that maybe, just maybe, our emotional investment in the relationship was a one-way street. That what we thought was a deep mutual connection was perhaps just a surface-level convenience for the other person. But there's a silver lining. Recognizing this painful truth opens our eyes. It empowers us to seek out and nurture bonds that are truly reciprocal. It pushes us to value ourselves enough to demand relationships where emotional support and presence aren't just expected, but are given freely and with love. So, as you navigate the complexities of human connections, ask yourself, who is really there for me when the going gets tough? Who shows up not just in spirit, but in action and empathy? These are the relationships worth cherishing, the ones that will weather life's storms by your side. Remember, it's not about finding people who will never let you down. It's about finding those who, when you do fall, are right there to help you back up. If you've made it this far, you're one of the few who are truly seeking growth. Let's continue. The sixth signal. Being utilized as a means to an end. This isn't about lending a hand or mutual support. It's about feeling like a tool in someone else's kit, used only when convenient and discarded when not. Picture this. You're always the first call when someone needs help, advice, or a favor. But when the tables turn and you're the one in need, there's a deafening silence. Your phone doesn't buzz, and your messages go unanswered. You start to wonder, are you valued for who you are, or just for what you can provide? This realization can sting. It's a mixture of disappointment and anger, tinted with a hint of betrayal. You recall times you went out of your way to assist, to be there, to support. But in your moments of need, where was the reciprocity? The absence of this mutual care and respect signals a one-sided relationship, where you're more of a resource than a valued companion. Facing this truth is tough. It forces you to look at the relationship through a new lens, questioning its depth and sincerity. It's a wake-up call to reassess your boundaries and consider the worth of connections that are contingent on your utility rather than your humanity. This step, although painful, is crucial for your emotional health and for cultivating relationships that are truly nurturing and reciprocal. The seventh signal. The lack of detailed personal interest. When you're with someone who truly cares, you can feel it. Their eyes light up when you share your stories, and they're there to hold your hand through your troubles. That's what genuine connection feels like. It's a two-way street where both parties are equally invested in each other's lives. But sometimes it is not so. Sometimes you find yourself in the company of one who cares not for your well-being or your thoughts. Picture a dialogue that always revolves around them, their troubles, their triumphs. You feel like a mirror, not a friend. This situation is painfully common. You find yourself in the company of someone who sees you more as a convenience than a confidant. Your stories, your struggles, and your successes don't seem to matter unless they directly benefit them. It's a hard pill to swallow, realizing you might be just a character in the backdrop of their life, not a co-star in a shared story. The absence of genuine interest and empathy in a relationship is like a silent alarm. It nudges you to take a closer look at the people in your life. Do they value you for who you are or for what you can do for them? Are your conversations a balanced exchange, or do you feel like you're just filling a role? Such realizations can stir a whirlwind of emotions, from anger to sorrow. But there's a silver lining. Recognizing these red flags is the first step in seeking out healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It's about finding people who celebrate you, not just use you. In the end, it's about understanding your worth and ensuring that those around you see and appreciate your true value. Remember, you deserve to be more than just an audience to someone's one-man show. You deserve a relationship that's built on mutual respect, interest, and care. Relationships are a mosaic of moments, some sparkling with joy, others shaded with discomfort. When you find yourself repeatedly questioning the sincerity of someone's presence in your life, it's like a red flag waving in the wind. How many times have you felt alone in a room with them, their absence in your moments of need screaming louder than words? It's tough, acknowledging that someone you count on is using you, but it's a truth that demands attention. Think about the last time you said no in your relationship. Did it feel like breaking a taboo? In a healthy bond, no is not just a word, it's a statement of your self-worth. It's about expressing your boundaries, and if they're constantly crossed or ignored, it's a clear sign that the scales of your relationship are uneven. The act of defining what's acceptable to you isn't just about setting limits for others. It's a form of self-love. Confrontation is never easy, especially when emotions cloud your judgment. But in a relationship that feels more draining than fulfilling, it's essential. How do you bring up your feelings without sparking a conflict? It's a delicate dance of being honest, yet non-accusatory. It's about saying, "Here's how I feel," rather than, "Here's what you did wrong." Sometimes this open-hearted conversation can turn the tide, offering a chance for change. But what if things don't change? Seeking support becomes your lifeline. It's not just about venting, it's about gaining perspective. A friend, a family member, or a therapist can be a mirror reflecting the realities you might be blind to. They remind you that your worth isn't defined by how others treat you. Your value is inherent, shining brightly, even in relationships that fail to recognize it. In the end, it's about understanding that you deserve a relationship that's not just about taking, but also about giving, a balance of love, respect, and mutual growth. Embarking on a journey to truly understand and navigate the intricate world of human relationships is both challenging and rewarding. The fundamental truth we must all embrace is this: you are worthy of relationships filled with mutual respect. And if these words resonate with you, I warmly invite you to join our Stoic community by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and also leaving a like. Together, we'll delve deeper into the world of Stoicism, the complexities of human behavior and emotions, seeking to demystify the patterns that govern our interactions. Your involvement is a vital part of this ongoing quest for knowledge and self-improvement. It's important to remember that the foundation of fulfilling and healthy relationships is built on mutual respect and self-awareness. By recognizing and acting upon these principles, we can cultivate connections that enrich both ourselves and those around us.